Trust Me is a 2007 film directed and written by Kazamia, and this stars Cory Pendergast as Danny and Enn Reitel as Joe. We also have Shelley Long as Mitzi Robinson, and I only watched this because I love Shelley Long, and she's in it initially not a lot, but her character does come into it a little bit more, and as a Shelley Long fan, I certainly liked her in this, but I didn't really enjoy the film personally, but I do think there is an audience for it. So I kind of have to look at it in two ways. Did I like it? Generally, the answer there is no. But is it a good film? And I think the answer there is leaning more towards yes, because we have well-written, well-developed characters. I really liked Joe, but I'll talk about him in a moment. The narrative pacing is really good. Everything flows really well. It's not completely predictable. We are introduced to new characters at a good rate. We're not just meeting everybody at the beginning and then fleshing it out from there. Characters are brought in as the story progresses to make things a bit more interesting. So it does seem like a good film. And if it does appeal to you, I'd love to know what you think of it. For me personally, I didn't really enjoy it. Danny is a con man. And this is set in Hollywood, which is a setting that absolutely appeals to me. And we have some interesting commentary on the kind of people Hollywood usually employs versus people with actual talent. Now, they're not saying that people who are employed in Hollywood don't have talent, but here we have the character of Joe, who doesn't look like the typical Hollywood personality, but he has this amazing talent for doing impressions, and his impressions are fantastic. And I think Enn Reitel did a really great job of making this character very likable, really engaging. I did thoroughly like the character of Joe, and the film is partly about him hopefully getting a foot in the door in Hollywood, but also Danny using Joe's ability to do celebrity impressions to his advantage to con people out of money. How does he do that? Well, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give it all away, but I do think that it's well written. It's a good idea. I think the execution is actually not too bad. It's just, I hate with a passion con artists, and obviously the film isn't saying that it supports con artists. That's not the position the film is taking, at least that's not my reading of it. But even with that in mind, I still just feel really uncomfortable whenever I watch any kind of con artist in a film. And because Danny, the con artist, is of course at the centre of the film, it's something I'm constantly thinking about, and I really, really hate it. So for me, I didn't enjoy the experience because of my own attitudes about con artists. I assume most people dislike cons, but I dislike it so much that it's something that really affected my enjoyment of the film. Danny is actually occasionally a likable character. When we're able to look past the con artist persona and get little glimpses of who he actually is, then I kind of liked him, but I didn't like him enough to be able to completely overlook the fact that he is a con man. But if it's not something that bothers you too much, if you think you can watch a film about a con artist and enjoy all of the other aspects, that's absolutely brilliant. It might be worth checking out. But for me, it was just too much focus on that. But Joe, as I said, was really brilliant. And actually, whenever Joe was the centre of focus, I found that I was enjoying bits of it. And obviously when Shelley Long was on screen, I was enjoying it, but I'm absolutely biased there, very willing to admit that. So I don't think it's a bad film. And I absolutely think that there is an audience for it. And I really enjoyed the setting in Hollywood. That's absolutely something that appeals to me in films. So there were some things about this that I thought were okay. And of course, as a film fan, I liked the references to various films. That's something that appealed as well. So it's not bad. I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it. But that being said, I think there is an audience for it. And if it seems like a type of film that would appeal to you, then I think it's worth checking out. Trust Me may not be one that I loved, but I can see the positives, and I think it might be worth checking out if it sounds like your kind of thing.